back to another update on my Fluval M90 reef aquarium. It's been a little while, but it has also been a year today since I started this aquarium. As you can see from the montage at the beginning of the video, you can see how it's gone from just being, you know, a bare tank that arrived on my doorstep to what it is now, adding rocks, substrate, water, fish, coral, changing out equipment, whatever else. You know, it's been a little bit of a journey in the first year. Very, very busy as well. I mean, I started a new job around the time I got this aquarium, so I've just been mega busy with barely any time. And yeah, this is what we're at today. The first thing I will point out is, in case you haven't noticed, the rear of the aquarium is nice and clean. So as you can see, nice and clean. There was loads and loads of sort of coralline algae on there, general salt build-up, things like that. And yeah, it's looking good. I'm not sure if I prefer this or I prefer the sort of natural look. I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. So I sort of had this whole video put together. It's been a couple of weeks of just sort of filming bits here and there when I've had chance, putting it all together and getting ready to sort of voice over. So it's been sat there on my phone because I film all this through my iPhone. I use an app called Splice. Very basic. That's sort of just, you know, how I've been doing it. Really simple stuff. And it's all been sat there in Splice ready for my voiceover. And I sat down today to do it once I got in from work. And I spent about an hour sort of trying to voice over the video, things like that, with me having kids running around, screaming and shouting and whatever else. Very busy household. I can't always sort of stand and film and chat like I am doing now. I'm only doing it now because there's nobody in the house but myself. So yeah, I sort of just film bits and bobs as and when I can. You know, take the sound away because it's like a riot in here some days, and then voice over them. But as I sat down to do it, I just wasn't feeling it. I was talking over it. It wasn't really coming together. So I thought, well, I'll just sort of take my phone out. There's nobody in the house. I'll put it on video, put it on record, and I'll just talk. And we'll, you know, I'll do a few cuts here and there, and sort of just put a video together this way. I much prefer doing it this way to sort of voicing over my own videos anyway. So it's a lot better. It's a lot more sort of interactive. So yeah, we're up to, I think it's 76 subscribers, which I know isn't great. Some people celebrate 1 million. But 76 subscribers is pretty cool. I didn't think I'd have anywhere near that many people wanting to sort of look at my videos and keep track of what I'm up to. So there is a few new people, and there's obviously people that have been here since the first video. So I'm just going to run through the aquarium again now. It's been a year. I'm going to run through the stocks, run through some equipment, and we'll just see sort of where I've come from and sort of where we are at the moment. So first of all, I'm going to run through the fish stocks because we are a fish down, I'm afraid. So in there I've still got the two clowns. I've got the common clown in there and the black clown. Both still getting on really well. I think the black clown is the male and the common clown is currently the female. So yeah, it's yeah, they're getting on well. There's been no fighting or anything like that, which is good. I've got the 3 green chromis in there. As you can see, they're all together, as they always are. And the 2 Bangai cardinals that have been in there, oh, I don't know, almost since day one. I think they're the longest fish serving in this aquarium currently. But the yellow wrasse is no longer in there. Decided that in the middle of the night, he or she wanted to jump out of the aquarium, which they then did. They decided to lay on the floor and dry out, and then my cat got it the next morning. We came down the stairs, the cat's batting this bright yellow thing around the front room, and as soon as we get it off her, we realise it's the yellow wrasse. So yeah, not great. That yellow wrasse is now gone, obviously. Very strange. A friend of mine had the exact same problem with his wrasse, jumped straight out onto the floor and dried out. So yeah, it must just be something that they do. I'm going to have to get a top on the aquarium, really. Nothing else has jumped out yet, touch wood, but, you know, never say never. So we're going to jump into equipment. So, very basic. You've seen all this before. Very basic 8-gang extension with switches, so I can sort of switch things on, off and whatever as I need to. And it's all sort of just really badly wired in there, just to keep it out of the way. There is my controller for my wave maker that we've seen before, CP25W by Jabo. Quite a cheap wave maker, but you know, for a gyro style wave maker, it was fairly priced compared to some of the ones I have been looking at, but also very cheap for what it was. If you remember with the aquarium, we have the sort of water change device, which is like a big selling point on this. It's just a bulkhead. You can, you know, add hose to this, put a bucket under it, whatever you want to do. I do not use it. And then it's just filled with just tons and tons of just stuff. I mean, there's like 5 litres of RO water there, which I just keep on top of. As long as that's full, I can just top up my aquarium with, you know, room temperature water. I ain't got to keep running outside to the shed and getting my big 25 litre canister and sort of running around with that. So a nice little tip, yeah, fill up some RO in a smaller canister and you can just top it off. I mean, unless you've got an auto top off, you know, good for you, but I don't. And then just general, you know, reef roids, you've seen that, pellets, flakes, coral dips, just general stuff that you have underneath. And as you can see in here, sponges, carbon, reef rectometer, all that sort of good stuff that you've seen before. Right, so for equipment, as you'll remember, this is the Jabo sort of gyro style wave maker that I'm using. I have not cleaned this thing once since I purchased it. It's probably due a strip down and a clean, but for the minute, I've just had more important things to do. But that will likely get stripped down and cleaned, as you can see. We'll move over to the rear of the aquarium, as we often do. So, as you can see, bear with me, it really needs a clean, does the rear chamber. So, from the last video, as you can see, there is a polishing pad in there, or filter floss, whatever you want to call it, filter media, whatever. Under there is lots and lots of what will now be live rock. It's been in the aquarium for quite some time. It's just alpha grog, which you can purchase from, you know, most decent sort of marine outlets, and you can also get it online. That just is filled to the absolute brim. Just top to bottom of that first chamber is just filled. And then the polishing pad is just sort of shoved over the top of there as just a pre-filter, just to catch all the little bits and bobs that are going to go in there. And obviously, as you know, I custom sort of flipped my first baffle, so the water is forced through all that grog as opposed to just running over the top of it. Straight over, and then in here you've got the heater, the Fluval C heater, which came with the aquarium. I have not changed it, there's no reason to change it. And the Bubble Magus QQ, which is a very cheap and efficient skimmer. It's about £65 I think I paid for it. I'm not sure what that is in dollars, but yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's done me really good. I'll take this off, and this chamber here is still completely empty, nothing in there. It will be getting some sort of Cheeto eventually. It will be some, you know, kind of refugium with some algae in there. I just haven't done it yet. And then my last chamber, as you can remember, has the GFO in there and the carbon, and then that's all returned back into the aquarium. As for the cleanup crew, it's all still the same remaining cleanup crew. I've still got my absolutely massive shrimp in there. He's still sort of picking around, doing a fairly good job. There's my conch snail, he's still in there, along with tons and tons of other sort of snails, and you know, it's just sort of stuff that you've seen before. You know, it's always sort of hiding, that's the problem. I do have a few shots of the crab and, you know, some of the other more interesting snails and things like that, so on the outro I will slip them in there and you can see them sort of out of the shells and out of the little hidey holes moving around. Over to the coral, we have the Kenya tree here. As you'll remember, it started on that tiny little rock just in there that's wedged between all the other rocks, and it's just spread all over the place. It's actually separated. I could physically sort of pick up the other rock and separate it, which I might do. I may, you know, pop some of this at a different point in the aquarium, maybe, you know, sort of at the other side over there, give it a little bit of depth. But yeah, that's put on tremendous size since I bought it. You know, it's absolutely huge now since I bought it. It doesn't look that big, sort of filming it like this, but you know, trust me, it's a lot bigger than it looks. Right, we'll move down here. We've got some of the mushrooms. The green mushrooms, I believe, are new. I don't think I've shown you guys these before. Yeah, really beautiful. They're going to look awesome when they get bigger. This was the tiny little orange one that I purchased. I'd say it's doubled in size. It's a good size now, but you know, it's only going to continue to get larger and larger. Obviously, update on my stony corals. I always show you these. Absolutely love them. Looks so good. That's massive now. And this was the one that originally I thought was bleached, and it turns out it was. It's showing, you know, greens, pinks, purples, all that sort of thing now. It's looking really nice and vibrant. Again, I think that's, you know, part with feeding them with the reefroids and things like that. It just brings out the colours. Looks absolutely awesome. As you can see, the hard coral is still going. We sort of popped that in there. I spoke about this. We popped it in there just to see, you know, if the light was good enough to grow and keep it alive. And so far so good. It's getting on okay. These are a new addition. These are Zoas. I mean, there's so many different variations of these guys, but these are absolutely beautiful. We saw them in the shop and had to have them. Definitely the best one. Some of them were so basic, with the sort of really short stems that was almost embedded onto the rocks. These were a lot more interesting from my point of view. Look really nice. Toadstool at the back, I believe the first coral, or one of the first corals I ever purchased. It's getting that big, it's actually starting to lean over. I'm going to have to turn it a little bit because it's sort of leaning into the sort of right hand structure there. I'm going to have to move it. Trumpet coral. That's definitely got some more trumpets since the last time I showed you it. I think it's got about an extra 2 or 3 on there since I last showed you. So yeah, looking good, really nice, bright, vibrant, absolutely beautiful. And this was the smaller Duncan. As you can see, it's got some new heads underneath growing there. So eventually this guy's going to get absolutely huge, like this guy over here, who is in fact absolutely huge. More heads than I can even count. You know, there's more growing and appearing every single day. It's crazy. Shrimp there coming for a nosy. And there's my sort of larger mushrooms. The crab is often hiding in this little hole here, but not today. Can you believe it? Like I said, I'll put some footage of the crab in later on. There you go, there's my green star polyops there. We've actually moved these from the rock up here to put them on the sand, and they've left a little bit behind, which is always cool. So it looks like we're going to have them up there as well, whether we like it or not. And this is a new addition. I've had this in the small reef aquariums I had in the past, and it can be a nuisance. This is pulsing xenia. It can be an absolute nightmare. It can get all over the aquarium and ruin the aquarium completely. But if you stay on top of it and do your maintenance, it'll be absolutely fine. And then we'll move up to here. There's another stony coral, another hammer coral, should I say. This was quite an early one that I purchased as well, as you'll remember. And there's the wall coral, which is absolutely huge compared to what it was. So that's sort of the overview of my corals, all growing very well. Obviously recently I did the video on feeding corals. We do that sort of on a weekly basis, and I think that is in fact, you know, the reason why they're all looking as great as they do, and why they're all, you know, continuing to put size on and things like that. If you haven't checked that video out yet, I recommend you do. So a lot of people don't feed the corals, they just sort of shove them in the aquarium and, you know, expect them to look beautiful, but, you know, you can boost how your corals are going to look. It's, you know, your aquarium is only going to be as good, you know, as the person keeping it, in my opinion. Right, so that is about it really, guys. You know, there's a few changes here and there. A lot of stuff hasn't changed. I've just been, you know, busy with work, things like that, you know, doing things with the kids. So I haven't really put as much money into this as, you know, I could do. I suppose once next year rolls round and we've got, you know, Christmas out of the way and all the usual stuff that sort of empties your wallet and your bank account, there will be some more money going to this aquarium. We've got some more sort of fish stock and coral stock in mind, so you have to just stay tuned and sort of see what happens from there. But you know, it's been a year so far and it looks a lot better than I thought it was going to look within a year. Really happy with it. As I always say, fantastic aquarium. You know, if you want to pick yourselves one up, guys, I mean, I got mine from Charterhouse online. They do price matches. I got mine for an absolute steal. I saved, you know, £200-300 on the aquarium. It was absolutely awesome. And yeah, that is about it, really. Nothing more to say, to be honest. So yeah, stay tuned. Keep an eye out for some more videos. You know, if you want to drop me a comment, I'll comment back. If you want to, you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Sort of share it with your friends. I'm open to any feedback whatsoever, good, bad. You know, we're all here to learn. I'm not a professional. I like receiving advice just as much as, you know, I'll always try and help somebody out and give them advice if they request it. So that's it from me, guys, and I'll speak to you soon, hopefully.